Hey y'all, here's my next tea tasting, and this is the first time I've ever had a whole pu'er tea cake. And let's see, it's got a picture of a pig on it. So I'm kind of excited, but then again not. I'm excited because it's the first time I've had a whole tea cake. But I'm not excited because I do not anticipate from my past experiences liking this tea. It has this in it for packaging, I guess, to keep it fresh. But there's the packaging. 2019 Yunnan sourcing Golden Pig Raw Pu'er Tea Cake. So I've unwrapped it. It's double wrapped. So this is the first wrap. And here we go. Here we have it. So I love looking at textures and colors of tea. And I see this one's got multiple colors in it. Oh, it's got something embedded on it there. I mean, it looks like something that's high quality. This is what I pulled off the back side. It's a same pig emblem that's on the outside of the paper. So I'm going to try to do this per directions. Because when I tell people I don't like Sheng, the first thing they say to me is, well, how are you brewing it? So I don't have a tea scale, but I actually got out my food scale, and I'm going to attempt to use it, and I've got it at 5 grams. I've been told that this doesn't measure very accurately, but it's what I've got. So my little butter dish says exactly 30 grams. So I'm going to use my pick and get about 5 grams off of here. Okay, there we go. The butter dish weighed 30 grams, and now I'm up to 35 grams. And this feels like a lot more tea than I would have put in here. Now, I've not been very good about rinsing my teas, so I got me a small bowl to dump my rinse in. I'm going to try to do this right. I'm fully anticipating sending this to someone I met online. He is sending me some good pu'er. So I'm doing this in my lap and my window seat. I do my tea this way a lot. But I put it in my gaiwan, and it is about as much tea as I would normally put in the gaiwan. So I guess that's pretty good. That I'm better at eyeballing than I thought I was. So I'm going to add some water and do a 5-second rinse. Okay, so I have done a quick rinse. You can see the tea leaves, poured it off. Not going to drink it, so against my thoughts of throwing away tea. But that's what it feels like to me. But here's the leaves starting to open it up. Now, this smells really good. I'm getting, I want to say fruit, but I'm not sure what fruit. Raisin comes to mind, but I'm wanting to think raisin, but I'm not sure if that's what it is. I can't decide what I'm smelling, but it smells good, which is a delightful surprise. So here is my first official brew, and I haven't tasted it yet, but it's very clear. I did what the folks taught me, and I did flesh steeping, which was for 5 seconds. I mean, gosh, you can't steep any shorter amount of time than 5 seconds. But I would call this, we'll look at on my scale of colors later, but I would call this husk. And I haven't actually had any husk colored tea before, I don't think, on my color spectrum. So here goes first taste. So I was trying to figure out why it's called Golden Pig, other than it just is called Golden Pig, but I do realize they have some golden parts to the tea. And I did decide to steep this about the fourth steep, a little bit longer just to test it. And it is a little more astringent, but it's not too bad. So here's, I don't know if everybody else plays with their tea like I do. I see some sticks in there, but here's what the wet leaves are looking like. Nice, full, kind of green leaves. And my husband was saying he was getting grassy, which would kind of go with green leaves. So here are my notes that I've made. So you see there's the name of it, Golden Pig 2019. The date from Yunnan sourcing. So this is a tea type pu'er. This is a sheng, which is raw. This is the same cheat sheet notes I copy over each time. So this is naturally fermented over a long period of time, and I could take this tea cake and since I like it okay, I was gonna mail it to somebody, but maybe not. I can't decide, but I could try keeping it and seeing in a year how it tastes different. So it says the harvest is from various villages in the, I don't know if that's Linsang or Linkang prefecture of Yunnan. I looked it up and it is right there in China. So processing, it says it was harvested in October 2019. So this is a very young sheng. I learned that last week. I'm so proud of myself. Learning so much. Very young, since this is January of 2020. That means this is like a year and 3 months old, something like that. 4 months old, a year and 4 months old. I had to put this in here in the notes. Oh, the sheng of it all. My husband said that yesterday. And it just really made me laugh when he said it. So I said, I have to type that in there. Oh, the sheng of it all. That about sums it up. So I received this free with my purchase, but the price is $8 on the website. And it's a full mini cake, unlike the more expensive Feng Yang I had last weekend that I did not like at all. No, Sam, I did not like it all. Anyway, I paid a lot more for ounces of the one last week, and this one was free, but yet it's only $8 for a lot more. So I really anticipated this being younger. The other one was older, and this is much younger. The other one was 9 years. This one is a little over a year old. I just knew I would not like it from my past experiences. So I was very careful, and I did what they call flesh steeping for 5 seconds. And I did the rinsing. Now, actually, I did taste the rinse, and it wasn't that bad. I really don't get the rinsing part. But from the website, we already went over that it's from those villages, and they say that it was a potent little cake. Oh my gosh, that scared me. So then they say a strong tea with nice cha key and long-lasting sweetness in the mouth and throat. Some bitterness and astringency as well gives this tea cake the needed fuel to transform and gain complexity with the passing years. So I could keep this and see how it changes over the years. I had to see what that cha key was, so I Googled it, and from the Tea Muse website, it says that basically it means that it knocks one's socks clean off. And when you ask people to describe it, they just say, you'll know. And that doesn't really describe it. It's funny, they say, well, that's about as helpful as a teapot without a handle. That made me laugh. So here I've underlined some things to make this reading quicker. Cha Ki is the life force of tea. Everything in China, they say everything has a ki, or a breath, or a life force of all things, which reminds me of some Bible verse out of the Bible. But they say earth, plants, cats, air, everything has ki. And so cha ki is the life force of tea that you experience. It's experienced different from everybody. It's a zen-like state of bliss, or an intense feeling of concentration, and of course everything in between. But this was the important part, because I hear people all the time say, did you get that tea drunk and feeling? And it says, don't confuse cha ki with being tea drunk. And being tea drunk is having too much caffeine. So they're two totally different things. I don't know. I'm learning all these things. There's the color on the color spectrum. The husk is right there. I get the golden and the pale and the green a lot, but I don't get husk very often. It's a nice color. There's my notes about when I smelled it, it being fruity and maybe raisin, but I couldn't quite determine it. The body was very light. Astringency I put at bright light, but that's at the 5-second steep. It was still bright light, but a little more intense when I did a little bit longer steep. The taste tastes like it smells, and that's something I always look for, because I determine that to be a high quality thing if it tastes like it smells, and this definitely tastes like it smells. So I really appreciated that, unlike the last one I had that tasted nothing like it smelled. But there is also a lemongrass taste. Both my husband and I got it. We both like lemongrass. I do not like floral, and the last one tasted floral. I did not get floral with this, although I did get that bit of astringency. I did not get any floral, which is good. So it's the best Sheng that I've tasted so far. So I'm very happy. I had such low expectations based on the past, and I'm pleasantly surprised. I was just like gonna hurry up and get this tasting done just to get it over with, because I just knew I was not gonna like this tea. And so that was very nice. The finish, very light, lingering lemongrass, well long after I swallowed. Very light though, which I like. You just have to really pay attention, and you notice it there. And as I said, we like lemongrass, so that is probably why this tea is setting well with us. And I don't think I've ever had a tea that has had so much lemongrass in it. Lemongrass notes, I guess you would say. I started out really wanting to just get this tasting done, as I said, and I'm very delighted to have this tea change my mind. I did give it 4 hearts. I would buy it again, but I'd probably only buy it again to play with how it changes over the years. I've never actually kept a Shang Pu'er, and tried to pay attention to how it changed over the years. And I would be interested in, like, if I stored this one and then buying this again from the same store with them storing it professionally, to see if mine is similar to theirs. So anyway, that's this tea. So I went to take a shower, and isn't that where we all do our thinking? And I was thinking about my measurements in the butter dish seeming so large, and I realized I never put my measurements there. I always just spread out just a little bit to look at the leaves. So that's why they looked so large there and not in the gaiwan. But I was also thinking about the breath in the description that we were given, where I read what cha ki was, and that it had to do with breath, and that it reminded me of a Bible verse. So I Googled it, and I come up with this website from this Heather Dixon, and she lists a bunch of Bible verses about breath in the Bible, and the one I was thinking of is the first one, where God breathes life into Adam in Genesis 2. So God gives us our breath that we breathe every day, but there's a whole bunch of other cool verses here about breath. But the other one that I was thinking of is down here, this John 20:21 to 22. It says, and he said, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you." Then he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." So God gives us our breath that we breathe in and out each day, the oxygen in the air, just kind of like plants are breathing in and out, and we call them living as well, animals as well. But God also breathes his spirit on us, and that is something that is special to man. Man is the one who has received the Holy Spirit and has the breath of the Holy Spirit living within them. So there's 2 kinds of breath, and the cha ki, I think, is more the first kind and not the second kind. And so because they refer to tea having it, which tea is a plant. And so that is my thoughts on this. I think that it's always interesting how lots of religions, I mean, I'm thinking even like Native Americans focus on the breath a lot. I think a lot of religions all have similar concepts, but then they divert somewhere along the way and are slightly different. I've always found that kind of fascinating.